Hey friends, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to my channel. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll talk about the most recent press release of the Bureau of Immigration, as well as my take on the reopening of the Philippines to foreign tourists. Let's start with the press release. So the Bureau of Immigration, Commissioner Jaime Morente stressed out that foreign tourists are still not allowed to enter the Philippines. Only foreigners with valid and existing visas are currently allowed to enter the country. And of course, those covered by the Balikbayan program, visa-free, are also allowed. Now, foreign tourists are still prohibited from entering the country and said this restriction remains effective until it is lifted by the IATF. So it's not the Bureau of Immigration that decides on who is allowed to enter, who is not allowed to enter. It's not the Bureau of Immigration. It's the IATF. They decide the quarantine classification. They decide who can enter the Philippines and other stuff, guys. This IATF has so much power. The Bureau of Immigration Commissioner explained that the country only reverted to implementing the travel or international guidelines that existed before March 22, when the government reimposed the ban because of the surge of COVID cases. So if you can look at on who is allowed to enter the Philippines video, in my last video, I explained there who is allowed, and it's the same from before, guys. Remember March 22, before that time, who was allowed to enter the Philippines is now allowed again. There is no addition. Really, there is no addition. Foreign tourists are still not allowed. You know that pre-pandemic time when you just buy your ticket, you arrive in the Philippines, you get stamped 30 days visa-free stay, entry, that's still suspended. Only for nationals with visas and immediate families of Filipinos and former Filipinos and their families are allowed. If you're a regular tourist, you don't have family in the Philippines, you don't have an existing visa in the Philippines, you have no business, you didn't work, you didn't study, you didn't retire in the Philippines, just a regular tourist, you're still not allowed. The Philippines is still really closed for international tourism. And let me say this, guys, coming from a person who has been religiously following the travel rules, requirements, and all that in the Philippines, as for me, it is very, very unlikely that the Philippines will open up to foreign tourists very soon. Inbound travel in the Philippines there's a lot of issues in it, and we always talk about it. This is one of the reasons why my videos are in English, because I want people who are also waiting to enter the Philippines, so that they know what's going on. And we have been very vocal about that. For example, one of the reasons the Philippines cannot yet open to foreign tourists is that, let's start with something small, travel cap. There is still a travel cap. There's only 3 international airports that is open for international arrivals. Each of these 3 airports only accommodate 1,500 arrivals per day combined with all airlines. With that travel cap, even Filipinos are struggling to get flights to go home. Their flights are canceled, rescheduled. So even to the Filipinos, going home is not easy, it's hard. Until that there is this travel cap, it's very impossible that the Philippines will open to foreign tourists. And with the COVID situation in the Philippines, it's not in the best situation right now. The COVID-19 cases is not manageable, it's not controlled in the country. Even businesses within the Philippines, some of them are still closed. They cannot open because of lockdowns and all that. We have so many issues, no? And for those who think, but COVID is just a flu, #pandemic. Oh, please don't comment. Then our vaccination rollout is very slow. We only have 3.5 million doses of vaccines. How many is the people in the Philippines? More than 100 people. And each person needs 2 shots. Oh my God. How many Filipinos are vaccinated? Let's see. 1.5 million got their first dose, and only 246,000 are fully vaccinated. I'm not saying, guys, that only Philippines should never open. No, no, no. I'm full support that the Philippines should, of course, open to international tourists. But in my opinion, it's just not now. It's not the right time, considering the issues in the country. Now, for those who are waiting to reunite with their Filipino partners, to those who want to marry their Filipino partners in the Philippines, I made a video before about that, other ways to reunite. You can look at that. But the answer of the immigration in your situation is that. Here, let's read. This is a comment from Mylene. Pag foreigner po at ang purpose po is to get married to the Philippines, allowed po ba makapasok ng Pinas? Let me translate. If a foreigner, if his purpose is to enter the Philippines to get married, is he allowed to enter? The immigration said, he needs to ensure that he possesses a 9A visa and a DFA exemption. Other question. What kind of visa need to apply? My boyfriend want to go back. What kind of visa would my boyfriend need to visit here to visit the Philippines? The immigration said he may apply for 9A visa and apply for a DFA exemption. So for those who really want to be reunited in the Philippines, you can apply for 9A visa and apply for a DFA exemption. But getting this 9A visa and DFA exemption, it's very hard. And this may take a long time. But look, if you want to try, go ahead, contact the Philippine Embassy and explain your situation. And they will assess whether they will grant you a 9A visa or not. And go and comment down below, how can the Philippines safely reopen to foreign tourists? So that's the update, guys. That's just my opinion. Please don't hate me. And God bless us all. Stay safe. Bye. To those who want to follow the entry restrictions, the latest government update, I would suggest you follow the Bureau of Immigration Facebook page. Alright? So you go to Facebook, you just search Bureau of Immigration. Or you could also follow Immigration Helpline. And also, guys, for the most updated government announcements, especially on the entry restrictions, I would also advise follow the Office of the Presidential Spokesperson. This is where they do the IATF announcements. You might wonder, how am I so updated with the travel rules in the Philippines? It's all in Facebook, guys. Just follow the right pages.